The views and opinions expressed in this channel are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the views of our guests. The views and the opinions of the guest do not represent nor reflect the views and opinions of the Lockoutmen channel, nor its host. Our guests' opinions are their own. This channel is for educational, entertainment, and informational purposes only, and utilizes fair use materials in accordance with applicable laws.
So drivers, I do Doordash content on my channel. Gig work, gig economy. I am considered a gig worker. I use the Walmart Spark app. Shout out to the Walmart Spark app. Now, unfortunately for you guys, I can't give you my reference number because the app wait list is terribly long. Like, I know people that been on the wait list for damn near 2, almost 3 years now, waiting to get accepted into the Walmart Spark app. Now, not to say that Walmart Spark is the best gig app out there, but in my experience, for me, it is the best app for me. Now, of course, I have done Doordash, still do, every so often. Uber Eats, I kind of laid back off of that. Grubhub, I deleted the app. Instacart, I haven't tried it. I think there's a few others, but I can't remember. But Walmart Spark, to me, for what I do, is the best app out there. The orders still kind of flaky, but there are some good orders. If you do it right, you can do about $100 to $200 within the first 4 to 5 hours on the app. If you do it right. Now, not to say that you're going to hit $200 a day within the first 4 hours. Sometimes you probably have to do it as an 8-hour job to get around $200 to maybe $250 a day. But for me, and when I do it, I can average anywhere between $150 to $200 within the first couple of hours of running the app. So Walmart Spark, the Spark Driver app, if you're in an area that's not saturated, give it a try. But if you like in my area, the wait list is long. Drivers, imagine ordering groceries for your daughter. About $100, snacks, household items, stuff like that. Now, imagine the next morning, the same delivery driver comes back to your door. But this time, it's not about the delivery, not about that he forgot something. He's banging on your door, demanding a cash tip.
Johnny.
4 weeks. 20 papers, that's $2 plus tip.
Gee, Johnny, I don't have a dime. Sorry.
Didn't ask for a dime. $2. Cash.
And he also has his personal weapon on him. Now, drivers, I don't know if you ever experienced that, but that situation could have ended up with somebody getting off that day. And it all started over a tip that the driver felt that he was entitled to.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for listening. I am Lockout Men. Our story begins in Vancouver, Washington, with a man named Antonio Valino. On what should have been a quiet morning, his household was rocked by a loud, aggressive knock at the front door, like he was the police or something. Police come knocking on your door like they ain't got no sense. That's the kind of knock Anthony was experiencing that morning. His daughter, startled, asked the same question that everybody else will be asking. Who in the hell knocking on the door like that this time of morning?
This loud bang on the door, real loud, startled my daughter, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, who the heck's pounding on the door?"
Well, it turns out it was the same Doordash driver who delivered the groceries a night before. Now, a $100 order already tipped through the app, but apparently that wasn't enough for the driver. He wanted a cash tip, and he came back to the house to demand it. Who does that?
It was a considerable amount. It was about $100 worth of food. The food was delivered to her. Apparently, she had to give a tip through the online system, which was deducted.
Driver, what?
Why?
The only reason you'll come back to a person's house after you delivered something is if you forgot something. Like, if you look in your car and you see that tampons is still sitting in your back seat because it fell out of the bag, then cool. Go back to the house and be like, yo, here you go. It was left in the back seat. I just found it. Please come again. But bro, you're coming back and demanding a cash tip? See, I know the tipping culture got everybody, including drivers, up in the tizzy. But driver, doing things like that is making us look bad, especially the ones that needs the tips. You don't do that, driver. But let's go on. So Anthony recounts that the man leaned in aggressively, insisting again that he wants his tip. Listen, Anthony puts his hands up. He tried to de-escalate. He's like, hey, you need to leave now, bruh.
He again said, I want my tip. That's when I said, whoa. He leaned in like I didn't hear him. And that's when I put my hand up like a stop sign and I said, hey. And I said, you need to leave now.
But things got physical. A scuffle broke out, and that's when Anthony felt the steel of a handgun on the driver's waistband. Now, drivers, let that sink in. The man who dropped off groceries the night before came back with a gun over a tip. Now, I know that sounds kind of egregious, right, by saying it that way, but let's just say that that driver didn't have any intentions with the gun. He was probably a concealed carry. But what's the reason of you coming back for a tip that you already got tipped through the app? So Anthony ended up disarming the guy after he tripped near the car.
When I felt the steel, my heart just sank. I was like, oh God, help me now. He tripped right here and he tripped up against my wife's car. And as he was on the ground, I came about right here and I leaned over and I cleared the handgun.
Of course, police arrived soon after. They arrested the driver, who identified as Robert Dillonhunt. He's now facing felony harassment, assault, and a DUI charge. There you have it. So let me get this straight. This driver must have went home, looked at the tip, felt some kind of way, got drunk, decided to go back to ask for more money. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Look, Doordash, of course, issued a statement saying that they've deactivated the driver and that this behavior goes against everything they stand for and their terms of agreement. But at this point, the damage was almost done, right? Anthony, kids, and grandkids were there. Listen, during the scuffle, what if that gun would have went off? The turn of events could have been very tragic.
And my kids were in there. They were at the my grandkids were at the door. My daughter's outside screaming. If he would have drew that gun and missed me and shot one of my kids, it would have been devastating.
Drivers, listen, first off, this is beyond unacceptable. I don't care how frustrated you are over a tip, man, or what kind of day that you're having, or how entitled you think you are to extra cash. You don't show up to somebody's house uninvited, bang on their door like you the police. See, you turned a simple incident into a criminal issue, guy. It's stuff like this that gives us good, hardworking gig workers a bad name, especially in the culture, this tip culture right now. There's plenty of dashers out there grinding, delivering in bad weather, making sacrifices. They're hoping for good tips, but they're not doing this kind of stuff that you doing, bro. See, this is something else entirely. Also, let me talk about the fact that this man had the nerve to come back the next day. And that is something that Doordash don't accept. See, that's premeditated. That's intimidation. Now it's a threatening behavior. And when you mix that in with a weapon, yeah, that's felony territory right there. And again, shout out to the homeowner, Anthony, right? Because he handled it better than most would. He didn't panic. He didn't escalate. He felt the gun and still managed to disarm the guy. Stop the show. Now, everything that driver did was completely wrong, and I don't condone it any which way it goes. But bro, how the hell you gonna get your own gun taken from you? How in the hell you gonna get your own gun taken from you, bro? Explain that to me.
Well, I guess I'm gonna take it from you.
What the son of a...
In any case, back to Anthony, right? That was a level of bravery right there, right? He wasn't just protecting himself, but he was protecting his whole entire family because he wasn't even sure of what type of situation that just occurred. Here's a disgruntled DoorDasher coming back to your house, banging on your door like he ain't got no sense, asking for more money because he didn't get enough tips on the app, and he had his personal weapon with. All that going through the homeowner's mind is diabolical work right there. So drivers, this should be a wake-up call for gig companies like DoorDash. Listen, start vetting people better, okay? Because at this point, you guys is just letting any and everybody on the app. Now, let me pause for a minute because I did mention Walmart in the beginning of this episode, right? Walmart has a serious vetting, okay? They are serious about vetting their drivers. Everything from pictures of your license, pictures of your social security, pictures of you, pictures of the car that you're driving, pictures of your car license, everything. If you lucky enough to get on with the app periodically asks you to take a picture of yourself so they can make sure that you're the person that is doing the deliveries. And I would give that to Walmart. Now, DoorDash, on the other hand, yeah, they do have some safety features like that, but they don't push it as much. You just Dash Now. And it doesn't matter who Dash Now is. The person's name that's on the dash that's showing up to your door could be a totally different person that's bringing you the food. But think of it this way. A lot of the contact, it's contactless. So you might not see that dasher that's bringing the food because 9 times out of 10, it is left on your doorstep. So a lot of you guys out there really don't pay attention to that. But you pay attention to it only when it says hand to me, or when they do some grocery shopping, or that we actually have to take a picture of your ID because you ordered some type of alcohol. But DoorDash really needs to vet their drivers a little bit better than what they've been doing. You're sending strangers to people's homes. It should not be this easy for someone unstable to get on your platform, deliver to a family, and then show up the next day asking for more money because they felt that the tip that they got wasn't enough. And what makes it so bad, he shows up, get into a confrontation with the homeowner, and then gets his own gun taken from him. That's crazy work right there. And for the drivers out here, understand this. I understand it. A lot of these people don't like the tip. A lot of them is garbage. That's why my percentage rate of acceptance is damn near 0. Because I already know that these apps is garbage when it comes to orders. I had an order that was going damn near 15 miles for $3 damn. And the app had the audacity to say, oh, this is one of our premier customers. What? So you're going to give me your premier customer order and expect me to take this order to your premier customer for $3? Hey, get out of here with that. I know that tips are optional. And yes, they are very appreciated. And yes, they do make a difference a lot, especially for your bottom line. But as they say, it is not owed to you. I feel it is. Think about this. We're doing something that you don't want to do, right? We're going out there doing your shopping. We're going out there delivering your food. We're going out there picking up stuff for you because you don't feel like doing it. Maybe you got home late. Maybe you're tired. Maybe it could be all sorts of things. But don't look at it as a tip. Look at it as a convenience fee, because that's what I look at it as. I'd rather for you to give me a convenience fee than a tip, because it's convenient for you, for me to go and do what you don't want to do, right? But drivers, if you can't handle the highs and lows of gig work, then I highly suggest you not to do it. So nobody should have to worry about a second visit from a delivery driver unless he forgot something that was in the car and he remembered whose order was that, where it came from. Because me, once I drop off an order, I tend to forget. I do. Once I drop off an order, I tend to forget where that order was at. Unless I get another order from that same person and I go back in that neighborhood and I be like, oh yeah, I remember this place now. But on a real tip though, I don't. I tend to forget about it because there is no reason for me to go back to that person's house, right? So there's no reason for any of you guys to go back to a person's house. That's not part of the service. And a lot of you guys obviously don't read the terms of conditions, because it is smack dab in the middle that all these gig apps don't allow you to do that. And if you do show up to somebody's house, especially with a weapon, you're not a gig worker. You're just a flat out criminal. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Trucking Commentary Podcast, and this right here. This was one of the wildest, most disturbing gig economy stories I've heard in a while. We talk a lot about gig work on this channel, the grind, the reality, the hustle. But this was something else. Share your thoughts in the comments. Would you have handled it like Valino? Should Doordash be doing more to prevent this kind of thing? Share your stories here at lockoutmenpodcastguest@gmail.com.